So glad you're joining us today as we dive deep into a topic that feels, well, more relevant than ever. How language can be twisted, really twisted, into a weapon. He's talking, of course, about George Orwell's Animal Farm. It's such a timeless allegory, and it just vividly unpacks the very real dangers of manipulated words.
Yeah, Orwell brilliantly illustrates how redefining truth, rewriting history, how doing that through language creates this really morally ambiguous landscape.
Right.
And what's truly unsettling, I think, is how the oppressed animals themselves can become sort of unwitting participants in the betrayal of their own ideals.
And that's really our mission today, isn't it? We want to try and uncover how this systematic manipulation of language, especially through Squealer's cunning rhetoric and those ever-changing 7 Commandments, how that became the ultimate tool for just blurring moral lines and, well, normalizing tyranny on the farm.
Exactly. It starts almost immediately.
So where do we first see this linguistic creep begin? It's right there from the very start, isn't it? With the ideals themselves, the 7 Commandments.
Absolutely. They're set up as this clear moral compass.
Yeah.
But they immediately start shifting. And what's fascinating is how the pigs, particularly Squealer, introduce these really subtle changes, almost imperceptible at first.
Like the beds.
Exactly. No animal shall sleep in a bed becomes no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets. Now, that isn't just a minor tweak, right?
That's a loophole.
It's a linguistic loophole. It lets them normalize their own privileges while kind of maintaining this illusion that they're sticking to the principles.
It shows how truth itself can be redefined, not always through massive lies, but these tiny shifts.
Incremental changes, yeah.
But it's not just subtle changes to the rules. Squealer, the propagandist pig, he's really a master of manipulation, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
He's got this whole arsenal of rhetorical tricks. I'm thinking about his use of euphemisms, calling severe food shortages readjustments.
Right, readjustments. It just masks the harsh reality, smooths it over.
And he weaponizes fear, too, doesn't he? With those loaded questions.
Oh, yeah. Surely, comrades, you do not want Jones back. That's not a real question.
No.
It leverages their past trauma, their fear. It basically turns any dissent, any questioning, into this terrifying thought of going back to human oppression.
It's pure intellectual manipulation.
Yeah.
Makes them doubt their own judgment, their own senses even.
Yeah, exactly. They stop trusting what they see and feel.
And then, okay, beyond the subtle shifts and the fear-mongering, sometimes they just outright rewrite history, don't they?
Completely.
Like with Snowball, hero to traitor. How does that systematic revision of the past really cement the pig's control?
Well, it raises a really important sort of universal question, I think. When memory is systematically revised, how can truth survive? Squealer's explanations, they're so convoluted, but delivered with such conviction, they just confuse everyone. They don't enlighten.
So the animals have no stable reference point.
Exactly. No shared history to ground them. Without an accurate past, they just can't see how badly they're being betrayed. They're trapped in this constantly shifting present the pigs create.
Which leads ultimately to maybe the most chilling linguistic corruption of all. When the 7 Commandments boil down to that one infamous phrase.
Yes.
All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Like, how does such a profound logical paradox become accepted?
It's really a masterclass in how language can just completely subjugate meaning. The statement is utterly contradictory, logically impossible.
Right.
But through Squealer's relentless spin, and because the animal's ability to think critically has been so eroded, it becomes an accepted truth. It basically legalizes inequality under the banner of equality.
Blurring the moral lines until they're just gone.
Yeah. It teaches us, I think, that absurdity, if you repeat it often enough and with enough force, can become reality for people.
And this brings us to the really uncomfortable part. The complicity of the animals themselves. When you think of Boxer.
Oh, Boxer.
The loyal cart horse with his maxims. I will work harder and Napoleon is always right. How does that unwavering loyalty rooted in those simple phrases make him so vulnerable?
Well, Boxer's total faith in these simplistic, manipulated phrases, it makes him blind, really impervious to the most obvious contradictions right in front of him.
He just can't see it.
His reliance on that manipulated language stops him from questioning the very authority that, in the end, sends him to his death. It's just, it's a powerful, heartbreaking lesson.
Yeah.
Unquestioning loyalty, when it's fueled by manipulated language, can ironically lead straight to self-betrayal, to oppression. Even virtue becomes a weapon against you.
And it's not just Boxer, is it? What about the sheep? mindlessly chanting 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, and then 4 legs good, 2 legs better.
Right. Or even Benjamin, the donkey, who sees everything but never speaks up.
Well, the sheep's chanting.
Yeah.
That just suppresses any complex thought, doesn't it? It replaces real understanding with these manipulated sound bites. It's like the ultimate intellectual pacifier.
And Benjamin? Oh, Benjamin is fascinating. He remembers everything, he sees the lies, but he never meddles. He shows that just knowing the truth isn't enough if you don't act on it.
So his silence is also a form of complicity.
In a way, yes. It allows the corruption to just continue unchallenged.
So wrapping this up, what does this really chilling examination of language in Animal Farm mean for us, for you listening today?
I think Orwell's warning is just enduringly clear, isn't it? When language itself gets corrupted, when truth becomes flexible, malleable, when memory is systematically rewritten, the very foundations of freedom, of justice, they just get undermined. And that paves the way for tyranny to flourish, totally unchecked.
It really powerfully suggests that the true betrayal of principles isn't always rejecting them outright.
No.
But it's the subtle corruption, the twisting through linguistic redefinition, step by agonizing step.
Exactly. So for you, our listener, this deep dive into Animal Farm, maybe it challenges us to consider, how vigilant are we really in protecting the integrity of language in our own world? What happens when words get stripped of their original meaning? And crucially, who benefits from that confusion?
Definitely something to mull over. Until our next deep dive.